You know, I'm sure I'm not the only one to have ever thought about this before, but I feel like in today's world, with all that's going on, especially recently, I have a strong feeling people are becoming complacent to things that would ordinarily be some of the biggest deals you could ever imagine or live through. It seems that people have been almost welcoming these events as if it's a TV show or something along the lines of a bucket list that we're supposed to live through. But if you look closely and learn to read between the lines, you can really see almost a separate language telling us what to expect in our very near future. And that future may be here a little sooner than we all hope. Let's check it out. All right, my friends, well, we're going to begin right here. We got to talk about NASA and the moon. We've certainly got to talk about our sun, Yellowstone supervolcano. And yes, you are looking at experimental explosion number 2, even bigger than the first one. In fact, let's start right here. Check this out. Magnitude 3.9 experimental explosion, 187 kilometers east-northeast of Flagler Beach, Florida. As you can see right here on June 19th, we posted right here on this channel about that experimental explosion. Now look how close these two are. I have both areas marked on Google Earth, and we can see here that these are not too far from each other, maybe 50, 60 miles at most. But we are looking at the second experimental explosion out here off the coast of Florida. And not to mention the fact that just a few hours later, take a look at this. A 2.0 earthquake struck Lansdowne, South Carolina. I'm sure we will have plenty of information and explanations as to why they are setting bombs off out in the Atlantic Ocean when it caused such a stir last time. It just seems like they're poking at the bear, if you know what I'm saying. All right, on with this, my friends. We are here over at spaceweathernews.com. For those of you that know of Suspicious Observers channel, amazing channel. They do a lot of space weather work. And if you want more detailed information on what I'm going to show you right now, please come to this website and show your support to them. But wow, what we are looking at right here is what they call an extinction level event sun explosion. So, long story short is there was a huge explosion off the surface of the sun, and it just so happens that it was facing the opposite direction of Earth. Had it been even just a day and a half later, or a day and a half sooner in some cases, this thing could have directly impacted Earth to the point where we would have lost more than just the power. You can see the sheer power of this thing coming off the sun on this little graph right here with the other icons within the graph all marked up here. Earth is the yellow dot, which you can see on the far side of the sun, the opposite side of where this explosion took place. As you could see here, this thing shot out of the left side of the sun compared to this chart. And if you've spent any sort of time researching this website or any of the Space Weather News websites, you know right away that this thing was massive and it would have done a lot of damage to the Earth. It's not hard to miss, but you can see the concussion right there as we passed over the corona of the sun. This thing wrapped all the way around the back end of the sun and almost made itself seen in the front. So we're at a satellite right now, the SDO satellite, which faces the sun. And now imagine just that back end of the sun having a huge explosion and all that energy shooting in the opposite direction as opposed to towards Earth where it could mess up with our power. Now to tie this into the next event, we're going to talk about the experimental explosion again, or at least the stats of it, but other seismic activity needs to be talked about, and that is a very rare earthquake swarm going on right now at Yellowstone Lake. And all you have to do is take one quick look at this lake and know right away that something is up. And I've been watching a lot of videos, a lot of people that cover the seismic activity on a regular basis, specifically Mary Greeley's channel. She specifically covers Yellowstone and all the different stats and different types of quakes that happen at Yellowstone and what they mean. And it's very interesting stuff. It's way beyond what I'd be able to explain to you guys here. And for those of you that don't know her already and want this information, please check out the channel. You can get there by searching Mary Greeley News. She's been around for a long time. Very, very sweet lady. Very, very smart lady. And she's been following Yellowstone in detail for years and years. And what's seemingly going on here is a very long stretch of earthquakes. We had two separate swarms. One in Idaho over here, which is continuing to go on. And then a separate swarm right in the center of Yellowstone Lake, which almost acts as the mouth, the main part of the supervolcano that is Yellowstone. Now, don't take my words out of context here. I have no idea if Yellowstone is going to blow up, if it's going to happen soon in 10,000 years. But what I do know is that based on the things that I see every day and over years of research and knowing people that also research this stuff, there are things going on right now at Yellowstone that have not taken place, certainly not taken place in mine or your lives. Simply zooming out can give you an idea of just how big this area is. All this land right here that is in multiple states, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. That is why they call this a supervolcano. If this thing were to go off again, from the research I've done, within a 500-mile radius would be completely liquefied. Not blown up, not knocked down, but gone, vaporized. Goodbye. So what I'm trying to say is that when we get information like that, and we're getting this type of news from NASA warning us about moon wobbles and stuff like that, within the next 10 years, by the way, they're saying by 2030, we're going to be in a flood situation that is beyond human comprehension. And that's the stuff that's being admitted. Now, we're here over on the sun chart looking at the sun spitting out energies that we haven't seen it do in a very, very long time, but that is not on the news. And one of the main reasons for that, in my opinion, is because they want to give you just the right amount of fear and news to hang on to, but not too much to where people change their daily lives. They want you to be in some sort of fear, but they also want you to go to work the next day. Make sure you go to work, make sure you fill up your gas tank, make sure you do all that stuff. But at the same time, we're just letting you know the moon's going to wobble a bit and we may lose half of Florida. So it seems like this constant game of manipulation of information and things like that. And that's why I like giving you guys the data that's available to everybody. I try keeping my opinions out of it, even though that's nearly impossible sometimes. But we need to understand there's something going on in this world, not just the United States. We know that for a fact. The entire world is changing. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to remember back in like 2010, 2005, even reading in science magazines and stuff like that, like around 2036, 2040, this big comet will be here, or this big change will have taken place. And you know what? We're right there. It is 2021. We are 9 years away from 2030. And just think about that for a second. 9 years may seem like a long time from now, but just think about 9 years ago and how quickly that came and went. And I know I'm putting on my little philosophy glasses right now, but now take that and all these situations going on. The fact that we're testing bombs in the ocean. Yellowstone is showing signs of waking up. The West Coast is in one of the worst droughts we've ever been in. The sun nearly blew its top just in the opposite direction during a solar wake-up. And now we got NASA putting out articles literally saying that within the next 9 years, we don't know where, but a lot of the country is going to be underwater. So please excuse me for having a few questions for the class, if you know what I'm saying. So, all right, my friends, I didn't want to scare you all today, but a lot of things that are being presented as totally separate are very much connected, and we all know that firsthand. Just by studying the globe and going over weather patterns and different anomalies, you start to see that the entire world is very much connected. One thing doesn't happen unless something else happens. Every action has an equal reaction. That's how the world works, and it's no different when it comes to the stuff we talk about here on this channel. My friends, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. We'll talk about this stuff or whatever else pops up in this crazy world we live in. Take one more second to listen to the message at the end of the video, and I'll be back soon. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all, and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.